Happy Thursday, everybody. Um, I am going to talk a little bit about your summative that you have for Unit 2. For Unit 1, you guys end up taking your test through Google Forms, and you also did your check writing. That was your summative for Unit 1. This is going to be your summative for Unit 2 with a project. Okay, so it's not going to be a test that's online, so a little bit different, but we'll see how you guys do. Last week, I had you guys construct your own budget along with creating your own financial goals. So we're going to work more with budgeting, and some of you guys have utilized apps and websites already so far. So this might be familiar to some of you guys, and unfamiliar to others. But on this document, I'm going to post this on Google Classroom here shortly, but I have provided a list of 10 examples you guys can choose from. If there's another app or website that you know of that you wanted to work with, you could. You just have to run that past me, and I'll look into it and probably give you a okay. But I provided 10 of you guys, or 10 examples already that you guys can use. What this is going to look like is you will be able to either work with a partner, or you can fly solo on this. And the first part of it is to determine if you're flying solo or if you're working with a partner. On this sheet right here, I will post on Classroom as well. But if you are wanting to pick Mint.com for research, okay, all you have to do is put your name under Mint.com, and that's how you sign up. Notice I have 1, 2, and 3. I do not want more than 3 different people or 3 groups doing the same one. Okay, so once that app or once that website has 3, you need to choose a different app to do research on. Okay, so for example, if Billy and Bob are working together, all they have to do is sign up under Mint.com or whichever one they choose, Billy, Bob, and you move on. Let's just say Maggie wants to do FAMZoo. Okay, so then she just signs up and puts her name there. Okay, so pretty simple. All you have to do is do that. Please do not delete and shift names around. Obviously, I can see who's making edits and deleting things on the doc. So once it's full or whatnot, leave it be. The only name you can move is yours. Okay, so first come, first serve on that. For that, coming back here, once you have your app or website picked, there are a series of questions for you to research and answer. So let's just say I chose Mint.com. Okay, so if I chose Mint.com, all these that are in bold, I for sure want you to come up with an answer to. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's at least 10 questions I want you to come up and have an answer for, the ones here in bold. These that are not in bold, if you do want to answer them, you can, but it's not a requirement. Some of these may help you with your project that you choose to do. Some will not. It all kind of depends on what you choose to do your project over. Okay, so if I chose Mint.com right there, I'm looking up answers to these bolded questions right here in this document. You will have to use online. You have to research some of this as well, obviously, because this is something that you will not know off the top of your head. For example, if I had Mint.com, I would have to go to the actual website, Mint.com, and find a couple of these answers to it. Okay, so some of these answers you might have to dig a little bit for. Some of them should be kind of easy. But come up with the answers to these 10 bolded questions on another Google Doc, so then I can see what sort of research you did. And then once you have these 10 answered, okay, once you have these 10 bolded questions answered over one of these apps, you're then looking for a way you can present your findings. Okay, so I have 5 different options here. First one is pretend that you work for a company you chose and you are in charge of creating a 60-second TV commercial to attract new users. So you want to use the information that you just found up here, and now you are putting that in some sort of presentation method to show and present to me. Okay, so if you chose to do a 60-second TV commercial to attract new users, you are using the answers to these bolded, or to these, for sure, the bolded questions. If a couple of these that are not bolded help you with your commercial, feel free to use it. Okay, so one option is creating a 60-second TV commercial. Second option is creating a pamphlet. If you're going to do a pamphlet, I want 3 columns and 2 pages. So for example, here is 1 column, 2 column here in the middle, and a 3rd column here. That's page 1. Then if you were to flip it over, this would be another column, and another column. So right there you're looking at 2 pages, a total of 6 columns. Okay, so essentially if I was to print your columns out and put them and glue them back to back, I'd have a pamphlet that that I could look at. Okay, so if you do choose to use that method, throw some illustrations in there, make it creative, make it colorful, but the information I'm using in the pamphlet, again, are the answers to these questions up here. If you wanted to do an FAQ section, I think last quarter or in December, I did have a group that did a pretty good job on it. On this section, one thing I do not want is you just to copy the questions from above and put the answer in a Google Doc. I do not want that. Okay? I do not want you just to copy and paste. I do not want you to copy and paste the questions and answers and be done. That a second grader can do better work than that. Okay, what I'm wanting to do, I had a group that did acorns, and what they did for the project, they put it on a piece of paper. Let's just say this was the paper, and the FAQs, they had questions. They printed out acorns. They put the questions on, wrote it on the acorns here, and then they flipped it up, and then had the answers down below or underneath it. Okay, so something like that is creative. So if you do the FAQ, I want something that's creative on how to present those questions and answers. I also had a student actually create a website that had the FAQ section and then put the question and answer. So if that's something that is intriguing to you, you can choose that. Another option is to write an email to your best friend explaining why they should begin using this tool. Okay, again, if you chose like Mint.com, and I am writing to my friend, hey Billy, I noticed that you're in high school and you don't have a lot of money management that you work with, and your money is kind of everywhere. Does Apple help you be in control of your money? you can keep track of where you're spending things at, and it has these positives, but it has these drawbacks. So that's kind of what that letter would be referring to. So you're informing your best friend on why they should get that app, using the information from above. Lastly, if you wanted to write a letter to the owner, letting them know what features you really appreciate about this tool, you could. Again, that's kind of your option. For some of these apps, it's going to ask you to create an account. I just want you to be aware of that. I am not requiring you to set up an account or to put in any personal information by any means. Okay, if you want to set up an account and tie your bank account to it or debit card or whatever, you can. That's up to you. However, I am not requiring you to tie your personal information into an account. Okay. However, some of these accounts you will be able to see and understand better if you do have an account, as in if you were a member yourself. But I'm not going to require you. Okay. So if you do come up with some other options and you wanted to do that, please let me know. I've had people do comic strips, animations, sales pitch. Had some people wrote a song, lyrics to a song. So you can be creative with it. You just if it's something other than these 5, let me know. I'll think about it and I'll let you know. Requirements, obviously, please do not plagiarize. Okay, this is something that is fairly easy not to. Okay, so don't choose that route. Make sure you're including the most relevant information for it. Use proper grammar, punctuation, spelling. Keep in mind the audience that you are presenting it to. Make sure they are understanding it. For commercials, be sure you rehearse ahead of time so that it runs smoothly. You don't have to sit there and think about what you want to say, or you forgot what line you want to do, that kind of stuff. So make sure you are rehearsing so it's kind of smooth. Okay. If you do have any questions, let me know. I'm obviously available to answer them. If you guys do get extremely bored over the weekend, you guys can start on this. By Monday afternoon, I'd prefer to have everyone be signed up on this sheet. If you're working with a partner, perfect. Write who you're working with. If you're flying solo, that's fine. Just put your name. But I want middle of the day Monday. I want everyone signed up so then you guys can start on it. I'm shooting for this to be due by next Friday. Okay, so that gives you a week to do the summative. Keep in mind this is a summative. Okay, if you choose to turn in subpar work, this is going to hurt your grade because there's only been one summative in it, or in the grade book, and this will be your second one. Okay, this will play. This can be costly to your grade as well. I do have one commercial video that I will show you as an example.
A few moments later.
Simple can help me. It can help me too. Keep it simple with the simple app.
All right. If you have any questions, let me know.